Hi everybody, welcome to a very late weekly bump. I couldn't do it on Wednesday. I was in Ireland for like a week and it was amazing. First of all, if you've never been to Ireland, it's probably, in my humble opinion, for whatever that's worth, one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It's truly, truly beautiful and very unique. I mean, every place is amazing in its own way, right? Now I'm in Montenegro. I'm in Kotor, Montenegro. You can see a little bit of the view. The mountains go all the way. It's absolutely stunning, very beautiful. And I'm going to be here for the next 5 weeks. So trying to get into my little zone. My neighbors are playing some music. It's a little bit loud, but I did want to do it outside. It'd be such a waste. Such a waste if I didn't show you guys. You guys are such a big part of my little travels and my journeys and stuff. So here we are. We have some crazy stuff going on in the sky. Mars opposing Venus today. This is an amazing time. Right before Mars goes retrograde, we have Mars opposing Venus. Now, this is really going to bring to the forefront a lot of things. First of all, there's a challenge to our internal masculine and feminine, and it's going to be a really critical time for us to maintain balance. In some ways, we can kind of be overweighted. It can be a little bit of a struggle to sort of balance our own masculine versus our own feminine. It's really going to be a good time for us in preparation for this Mars retrograde and all the stuff that's about to come on the docket over the next couple months to just take a beat. I think Venus needs to win a little bit. I think she's going to kind of be the leading force, and I'll tell you why. I think 2019 is going to be an amazing year. You know, we're kind of coming off the effects of 2017 this year, but we're still dealing with stuff. And as 2019 comes to fruition, we're going to have a whole bunch of new opportunities presented to us. There's going to be a lot of growth for many of us. There's going to be new relationships forming. There's going to be new business ventures. There's going to be new realms of spirituality as well for many, many of us, especially those of us who are continually growing in that way. And this Mars retrograde is going to give us time to really formulate our goals. There's going to be a tendency or a desire to really hurry up and get stuff done. There's going to be a push or this internal drive to jump on opportunities right now. But right now, I don't think it's a good time. That's why I'm saying let Venus win. Venus is more, you know, she goes about life in a very aesthetically pleasing way. There's nothing clumsy about Venus. She's very purposeful. She takes one step at a time. She may be very strategic, and in ways there can be a level of manipulation there, but if you're manipulating your own life in a positive way, then by all means, right, go for it. And she's going to need to be the one that says, okay, Mars, you just need to take a back seat for a little while, let me do the driving. And when I need you, I'll call upon you. People that get stuff started over the next couple months are very likely to be disappointed, especially if that's a romantic affair, a new business venture, something like that. It's going to fizzle out. It's not going to be what it was originally intended to be. But I will tell you one thing that Mars retrograde is really good for, and that's for clearing the air. If there's any issues that have been lingering, if there's any issues that are needing to be addressed, now's the time to really do that. Don't start anything new, but you can tie up loose ends. You're going to need that sense of closure in many ways. You're going to need that in order to have room for these new opportunities to come. You know, you need space. You can only handle so much. And if you want new stuff, you're going to need to get rid of the old. Now, I already started this weekly bump, so I have all these cards out. I had to stop the camera because I'm so tired. You know, I came home, I came here, I slept for like ever. I'm just kind of waking up. I went to the grocery store. And I'm just trying to get my mind into it. And I was like, you know what, maybe today, for my own sake and for you guys as well, let me just not do it so spontaneously. Let me pre-pull out the cards, just because I'm having a hard time connecting, really. So the first cards that I got, let me put down my drink here. The first cards that I got were really powerful, and I think they're kind of the tone setters of the reading. All right, we have the Death card, we have the Sun card, and we have the Emperor reversed. Death is so fitting. I can't even tell you. I went to the grocery store this morning and I was walking, and I can't even tell you how many butterflies I saw. Like, I have a tree right here, and this morning I sat and had like a cup of tea, and I probably counted about 20, 25 butterflies that came, different ones, different colors, different sizes. And I was like, I had this thought, I was like, I bet Pluto is going to be a thing, because we also have Mercury opposing Pluto as well. Mercury opposing Pluto, you know, Mercury's the messenger god, the messenger god. You know, he's the only god that can go from Olympus to the earth to the underworld without, you know, he doesn't need like a passport. You know, he can just go. He's got free reign. Wherever he wants to go, he can go. And when he chooses to go to the underworld, or when he needs to go to the underworld to go visit Pluto or Hades, it's not for nothing. You know, I mean, you don't go interrupt the god of the underworld for no reason. You know, you have to approach the underworld with caution, but also with conviction. And right now, death is giving us a very positive message. Not necessarily a message of new beginnings, which is very often, you know, an interpretation of the Death card, but truly that there are things being closed out, which is why this Mars retrograde is needing to happen right now. Because the last few months of the year and moving into 2019, you need this stuff to be behind you. You know, I bet Mars retrograde for a lot of you, I bet, this is just a guess, I bet Mars retrograde for a lot of you is going to give you opportunities to say no to stuff. It's going to give you opportunities to turn people down. It's going to give you opportunities to reject people that rejected you. And that's going to add to this sense of vibrancy. You know, with the sun, when the sun came out, the word vibrant came to my mind. I don't use that word a lot in everyday conversation. I don't use that word a lot when I do my readings, but vibrant came to my mind. And when someone is vibrant, when they're operating with vibrancy, oh God, I gotta tell you, when I was in Ireland, there was this couple, and I've known this couple for several years, and they're amazing, right? They're two Sagittarius people. They're so freaking happy all the time. And yes, they have their struggles, but this is a couple that, without a doubt, has an ability to really just laugh their way through anything. And it's not one of those things like, oh, well, when the laughter stops, be careful. Like, no, like they've seen really, really dark days, and somehow they just always can see the best in absolutely everything. And they're the couple that I often use as kind of like a gauge, right? You know, like how best friends are you with someone? Because these are two people that are with 100% best friends first, and then the romance kind of comes second. And when I was with them, there was this vibrancy. Like, these are two people that are certainly operating at a very, very high level. And they understand truly what love is. And you don't see that very often. You know, you really, really don't. So when you see it, when you have an ability to observe it, especially for someone like me who's interested in something like that, you know, you watch and you learn and you observe and you kind of understand, or you try to understand what really makes them tick, and what the power of their own mind in adjusting their outlook in life, right? And when they're so optimistic about everything, even if it's something they didn't really like, you know, like we were at a hotel and it wasn't the best hotel, and the shower was really small, and the guy, he's like 6'5", he's super, super tall, really big guy. And we were talking about how small the shower was, and he's like, yeah, but you know what? I'm in the most beautiful place I've ever been, and I'm just gonna not let it bug me. And I know that's so basic and so common, it's even something that I would do because things like that don't really bug me. But there were so many other people with that group that were just like, this hotel is terrible, the food is so bad, and there was like absolutely no sense of gratitude whatsoever for being there and being able to do what they were able to do. You know, there's not a lot of people in this world that are able to take 2 weeks off to go play golf at some of the most prestigious golf courses in the world, right? I mean, you got to kind of put things in perspective. Stop whining, stop complaining, right? And just enjoy life. Enjoy life and enjoy the moment. The Emperor reverse comes out, and I'm totally not surprised with the Mars retrograde and the Mars-Venus opposition. This is one of the reasons why I'm kind of feeling like Venus needs to take hold, because the Mars is weakened by this upcoming Mars retrograde. He's sort of losing his power. He's losing his steam a little bit right now. You might need to even feel like you're exerting extra effort for the regular stuff. Let me grab a sip here. There might even be some frustrating things that happen in terms of money as well. I'm getting the Five of Coins and the King of Pentacles coming out as well. You know, there could be some expense that's needed. There could be someone that is creating a little bit of problems. Maybe your boss is demanding much more of you than normal. Maybe your clients are being a little bit more brash. Maybe your business partner is being a little unrealistic or something like that. There's probably some personality things you're going to need to deal with. Probably some version of that, I guess. If you do need to incur some kind of expense over the next couple months, don't even worry about it. It's not a thing. Just pay it, get rid of it. Like I said, tie up loose ends. It's worth it. You need that space, right? In order to earn money, you are going to need to spend money. Now is not a time to be a hoarder of any kind, right? To not necessarily be an energy hoarder, a money hoarder, not necessarily even a time hoarder, right? Be generous with your time. Be generous with how you spend your time. Make sure you're helping people. Make sure you're contributing to the greater good in life. Right now, again, now is not the time to really keep stuff bottled in either. Now is the time to clear the air. And sometimes that means saying things that you didn't really intend to say. Sometimes that means having the really hard conversations. And in some ways, taking advantage of the fact that people's Mars is kind of weak. When you are more cautious about what you say, it can even irritate people even more. People are going to be irritated anyway. People, especially that don't have strong Mars in their chart, or maybe they have a really strong Mars, maybe one of the two, they're feeling this transit a little bit harder than most people. So if they jump out of the chairs and freak out and kind of thought vomit all over you, they're the ones that are going to kind of have to come back with their tail between the legs, you know, to sort of rectify and make means. The more mature you can be and the more better handled you can be, the higher advantage you have. So if you're needing to say something difficult to someone, I feel like there's a sense of difficulty around you or around people around you. I don't know, but there's this sense of, I'm getting tension. I'm feeling tension. I think it's because of this. I also got the King of Swords reversed. Thought processes are not as on point as we might like. And I think that's with other people. I feel like you're going to be dealing with someone that's a little bit tough. You're going to be dealing with someone that doesn't really think things through, who's going to be more reactive than responsive. And again, in a weird way, that can be used to your advantage. It can give you leverage in some kind of way. The tension I'm feeling is that there's something that some of you might be dreading. There's a conversation or something that must be done that some of you might be dreading. Like, for example, in a romantic context, maybe there was someone that you were really interested in and they weren't interested in you, but now that energy is kind of fizzled out. But there still might be a desire there. But if that person that you were interested in reaches out to you and invites you to do something, you may dread saying no. or maybe you might dread saying yes, right? But you may dread that interaction altogether. I mean, thinking of an example specifically of someone that was on that trip with me, who's been a really amazing friend since 2016. We've been connected for only a couple years now, but you know, we talk about things that are really deep and that are really profound. And he's been running this business with his father for many, many years, and things are sort of coming to a head. They are the way his father operates the business is so bad and so disorganized and so archaic. He's like, I gotta get out, but I feel this sense of obligation, this sense of responsibility, you know? And I said, well, at what point does that debt get repaid? You know, everything that your dad did for you, at what point do you draw that line? Okay, well, this debt has been repaid, and anything on top of this is just me kind of continuing to give for no reason, especially when his father has become quite sour and quite, you know, kind of given up on a lot of things. And it's starting to bring my friend down in a really big way. And he's like, I gotta do it. And I said, yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta get rid of this. You gotta cleanse, you know, because you're not happy, and it's gonna start affecting your physical health, your vitality, right? And that's kind of the example that's coming to my mind. I put it in a romantic context, but that can apply in so many different ways. But it's like this conversation that we're dreading, this conversation that we're not sure of what the outcome is. We're not sure of how people are going to respond. We're not sure of how they're going to retaliate and the levels of manipulation that they're going to kind of strive for. But again, the more controlled you are, the more powerful you are in this scenario. Please know that any kind of retaliation or any kind of anger that this person exhibits is purely temporary. It's not going to be there forever. It's not going to last. They're not going to be able to keep it up, because with the strength at which this begins during a Mars retrograde, again, it's just going to peter out. Same thing as if you were to start a new business, or same thing if you were to start a new job or something. The excitement is just, it's going to wane really, really fast. That's the nature of a Mars retrograde. So it might actually be good, because it'll probably last a lot shorter amount of time than if you were to do it at another time frame. So necessary to do this stuff right now, though, guys. Take advantage of the energies. They're working in your favor in some kind of way. So do what you gotta do. You know, do what you gotta do. There's no need to be afraid in any way, shape, or form. There's no need to overthink. There may be a tendency to overthink, you know. Where do we have Mercury right now? Mercury is in Cancer. Oh yeah, that's right. I had to remind myself of that. Mercury is in Cancer. It is opposing Pluto, like I said. And there is a Sun. Sun is starting to come in an opposition with Saturn as well, as the Sun approaches 6 degrees of Cancer. The self-control. Be careful that you're not so self-controlled that you don't do what you need to do. I don't know, this High Priestess reverse came out, and like, there's no way people's secrets are going to be able to stay in. Like, there's no way. This is all just going to come bubbling out. There's nothing you can do. There's going to be a time, there's going to be a moment when whatever it is you need to say, it's going to come out. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Let's pull a couple more. That was all the cards that I got from before. It's 12:22 exactly as I look at my clock right now. I've been seeing those master numbers like crazy, guys. It's even more now. It's like 10 times a day. It's like my internal clock is more in control now. It's more a conscious effort, it feels like sometimes. Sorry for the noise. What's this one? Oh, let's end it with this. That's no more. We don't need more. This is beautiful. Page of Wands. Optimistic, happy, very Sagittarius-like. There's not a lot going on in Sagittarius right now. There's no planets in there at all. Nothing's really aspecting it either. Nothing in Gemini right now. But Sagittarius is an energy that does seem to had kind of come on the docket for me because of that couple, the Sagittarius quality, and their exemplary display of the Sagittarian optimism was just off the charts. It was so wonderful to see that. and to see what two really, truly, genuinely mature Sagittarians, like what they can really accomplish for themselves. And you know, we all have Sagittarius in our chart somewhere. We all have the, even Pisces, right? Jupiter ruled. We all have that Jupiter quality somewhere in our charts. Now is a really important time for us to tap into that. I often see this as a card of Sagittarius. The pages I often see as the mutable signs. And so I do see this as a very Sagittarian-like person, someone that just keeps their head up and just does what they need to do. But the thing we love about Sagittarius too is they're not afraid to speak their minds. They can be brash sometimes. They can be, you know, not so diplomatic, and they can be a little bit hurtful at times as well. But if it accomplishes some kind of goal, then by all means, you know, if you're not doing it to hurt someone else and you're just doing it to clear the air, then do it. You know, there are no obstacles for a Page of Wands. Clear skies, see? Clear skies, blue skies all the way, 100%. Yeah, I love this card. I really do. I love a Page of Wands. I'm really getting excited about this tour. You know, I don't have a topic today. You know, I thought about it. I thought about doing something talking about materialism, but I don't really have a lot of in-depth stuff to say. I just came in contact with that on this trip to Ireland because, you know, I was with a lot of extremely wealthy people. I didn't really get to know them so well because I was with like my own little group, like 4 or 5 of us. Materialism is so strange to me, and how people identify and they create their identity around the things they have. It broke my heart. We were in Dublin and we went shopping in like the Temple Bar area, and we stepped into a really high-end like Louis Vuitton or something like that, and everyone was kind of shopping and buying stuff, and I was looking around and I was looking at the thousands and thousands of dollars that were being spent, and I kind of started like crying a little bit, because those thousands and thousands of dollars, what that money could have gone toward to actually help people around the world, you know, like helping people have clean water, or helping to clean up the ocean, or helping to feed and clothe infants, orphans, you know, something like that. And just what a shame it was. But then there was like that whole idea of, should I shame people for having stuff? No, of course not. Is having stuff bad? No, of course not. But at what point is enough enough? How many Louis Vuitton bags do you really need? You know, how big of a house do you really need? And how did we become this culture of excess, this global culture of excess? The more you have, the better you are. The more you have, the more people want to be you. Because in reality, when you think of what we need, you know, we just need a small place to live. We just need clean clothes. We need clean water. And that's it, right? My phone is getting too hot. I'm using a new device. I kind of was hoping for a better quality video this week, just to show you the mountains. Even in a place like Eastern Europe here, Montenegro, yachts and all that stuff. Do you really need it, you know? No, of course not. I don't know. I don't have anything profound to say. I have nothing profound. I just came in contact with a really high level of materialism, and really is bothering me. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave you guys there with that. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I really, really do. I wish you nothing but the best. I'll be sure to do this video on Wednesday next week. And I am working on monthlies this weekend as I get I got to do my privates first since people paid me to do it. But next week I'll be doing the monthlies. All right? Thank you guys. Bye-bye.